had a couple of days here of an interesting market. Obviously, this has been precipitated by the coronavirus. Market is down about it was down about 3% yesterday, and as we're doing this, it's down about another 3% today. So that makes for a little bit of anxiety. But let me give you a little geography lesson here. This is the world as the world turns, and Wuhan, China, is right around here. Okay, and that apparently is where this whole thing started, with some sort of a bat to human virus that is now going human to human. So where are we in the world? Let's see here. We're right around here. This is where San Diego is. And you can see where China is. And now there's South Korea, and there's Japan, and Australia. And now we've got it in Europe, and we've got it in the Middle East. So it's going everywhere, all right? So once it started going around the world, that's when people started getting nervous. And I understand that. It's a serious thing. We certainly, we don't want people to get sick and die. But this is really a lot like it's like influenza. And I don't think there's any containing it, to be honest with you. I think that it's going to have to run its course. And, of course, it makes sense that the market is down a little bit, because if the world really is shutting down a little bit and people don't want to go on airplanes, they don't want to go on cruises, they don't want to go to the grocery store, for crying out loud, they're going to stay inside, that's going to slow a lot of things down. All right. So it does make some sense, but I think it's temporary. All right. I think once this thing peaks, just like what happened with Ebola, just like what happened with SARS, and you name it, I think once this peaks, that you're going to see a lot of pent-up demand. It's going to come back, and I think we're going to be okay. But in the meantime, it makes sense. And quite honestly, and no pun intended, but this is actually a healthy thing for the market. All right. The market was getting a little bit frothy. Some of the stocks, especially in technology, were really getting pretty expensive in relation to where their earnings were. So now this gives you a chance maybe to buy a little bit at a lower end if you have cash. And by the way, I've said this before, but if you need cash, if you know you're going to need cash for something in the next 6 months to a year or something like that, don't wait for the market to fall. Take the cash out when markets are high. We're still only down about 6% from the high. It feels a lot worse than that. But that's about it. So if you do need cash, and you need for a house, for a whatever, or just for living, there's nothing wrong with having a little cash. Now, this is kind of a little dog market that we're in here. This is a down market. Could I say dogs of the Dow? I don't know. At any rate, this is a little dog market. I'm not worried about that. What we worry about is the bear market. All right, my little Chicago bear here. All right. I don't believe that we're going to be in a bear market. Even though technically we might get there, I actually expect the market to go down a little bit further. Maybe it gets to, we were down about 6, maybe it gets to 10, 12, maybe even 15% down. But again, I think it's temporary. So let's not panic out there. I think that for the most part, if your stocks are good, if you like them now, an Apple, whatever, I'm not telling people to go out and buy Apple, but if they're good defensive stocks, I think you're going to be okay. If you have some speculative stocks or maybe some things that you don't like, that you're a little bit worried about, there's nothing wrong with selling them, even if you're at a loss, and then buying into some good things as the stock market comes down. At any rate, I appreciate your attention to what's going on here, and don't panic. We will be just fine. Take care.